The 1960s St. Louis Cardinals are widely regarded as one of the most dominant dynasties in baseball history. They finished in the top 3 of the National League 9 times, appeared in 3 World Series, and won 2. Their success was defined by their stars such as Bob Gibson, leadoff man Lou Brock, and veteran center fielder Curt Flood. It's also important to mention the Cardinals' 1967 MVP, who led the club to the World Series against the impossible dream Red Sox, Orlando Cepeda. As crucial to St. Louis as he was, it's important to remember how he got there. Because in 1966, the San Francisco Giants traded him away, believing he'd never live up to his early career success. Their reason for this? Injuries and weight issues. Cepeda arrived in St. Louis with a chip on his shoulder and ready to show his former team that giving up on him was a mistake. In early 1955, the New York Giants signed 17-year-old Orlando Cepeda after an impressive tryout hosted by the club in Florida. After spending 3 years in the minors, Cepeda made his major league debut on April 15, 1958 in San Francisco. He was considered a member of the Giants organization since 1955, but his major league status wasn't finalized until Cepeda signed his first contract 10 minutes before the start of his debut game. He collected his first hit in this game, hitting a home run in the second at-bat of his career. This game set the tone for the rest of Cepeda's historic rookie season. He finished 1958 hitting .312 with 25 home runs, 96 RBIs, and led the league in doubles with 38. On November 10, 1958, Orlando Cepeda was named the National League Rookie of the Year and became the second player in league history to win the award unanimously. He also placed 9th in MVP voting that year, something that became pretty routine for him. From 1959 to 1964, Cepeda received MVP considerations 3 times and nearly won the award in 1961 when he placed second in voting. He also made 10 All-Star teams. Keep in mind, from 1959 to 1962, Major League Baseball held 2 All-Star games a year, and Cepeda played in all of them. Altogether, in that 6-year stretch, Cepeda batted .309, had an .897 OPS, hit 197 home runs, and collected 1,078 hits. 1961 was by far his best season, slashing .311, .362, .609 with a league-leading 46 home runs and 142 RBIs. By 1965, Cepeda had shown the baseball world that he was a superstar, and he hadn't even turned 28. He was set to enter his prime, and San Francisco was eager to see what he had in store. However, before spring training in 1965, Cepeda was experiencing extreme right knee pain. This was something that had been bothering him since 1961, after a home plate collision with Dodgers catcher John Roseboro. He entered spring training hoping to play through the pain, but after a dive attempt in left field, his knee finally gave out. Cepeda was sidelined for almost all in 1965. He played in only 33 games, primarily as a pinch hitter. This also happened to be around the peak of his weight issues. Starting in 1961, Cepeda and Giants manager Alvin Dark had an ongoing feud that lasted all the way to 1999. Dark consistently accused Cepeda of lack of hustle, which was caused by him being overweight. Cepeda often tried to explain to Dark that his deteriorating knee was causing his lack of hustle, but Dark routinely benched and fined him anyway. As Cepeda himself admitted later in life that the MLB lifestyle presented him with too many temptations, and he struggled to maintain his physical health because of it. However, this conflict ran deeper than hustle. In July of 1964, Alvin Dark agreed to an interview for Newsday, and had some very strong things to say about minority ball players. In regards to his black and Latin players, he was quoted as saying, "We have trouble because we have so many Negro and Spanish-speaking players on this team. They are just not able to perform up to the white ball players when it comes to mental alertness. You can't make most Negro and Spanish players have the pride in their team that you get from white players." Dark specifically named Cepeda as one of these players. He also banned his Latin players from speaking Spanish and playing Spanish music in the clubhouse. These issues were never resolved, and after 19 games with the Giants in 1966, Cepeda was traded to St. Louis. Despite the Giants' doubt, Cepeda immediately bounced back and finishes 123 games with the Cardinals, batting .303 with 17 home runs and an .831 OPS. He had proven the Giants wrong, but no one could have predicted what he would do in the following year. In 1967, the St. Louis Cardinals were at the height of their dynasty, and they were looking to recover from a 6th-place finish in 1966. After a huge bounce-back year, they finished with a record of 101 wins and 60 losses. Cepeda was far and away the key player of this team. His 1967 totals included a .325 batting average, .923 OPS, 25 home runs, and a league-leading 111 RBIs. The Cardinals, aided by Cepeda's offensive dominance, surged ahead in the National League, taking first place by a difference of 10.5 games and earned a trip to the World Series. The second-place finisher that year, the San Francisco Giants. The Cardinals were set to play the Boston Red Sox, who had just finished a historic season. The year before, the Red Sox had finished 9th and entered 1967 with little hope for playoff contention. The season ended with a dramatic 4-game race to the pennant between Boston, the Detroit Tigers, the Chicago White Sox, and the Minnesota Twins. Against all odds, the Red Sox beat the Twins in the final game of the season and won their first pennant in 21 years. They were led by captain of the team and Triple Crown winner Carl Yastrzemski, Cy Young winner Jim Lonborg, and fan favorite Tony Conigliaro. Both the Cardinals and Red Sox began the season as underdogs, and together they played in one of the best World Series in baseball history. The series went 7 games and ended with a Cardinals victory in Fenway Park. Bob Gibson took home the World Series MVP for his 3-0 record and 1.0 ERA. Cepeda struggled offensively and was only able to record 3 hits and 29 at-bats. However, had it not been for his excellence in the regular season, the Cardinals may not have even been there in the first place. Cepeda had his first and only World Series ring of his career, but his 1967 accolades did not end there. On November 7th, Orlando Cepeda won the National League Most Valuable Player Award and made history as the first player in league history to win the award unanimously. It had been 1 year since the Giants gave up on him, and in that short time he recorded the best season of his career, won the World Series, and was named the MVP. The Giants had bet wrong, and it may have cost them a World Series title. Cepeda played another 7 seasons in the big leagues and had some productive years. In 1970, he hit .305 with 34 home runs and 111 RBIs in his second season with the Atlanta Braves. He also played for the Oakland A's, Boston Red Sox, and after a short stint with the Kansas City Royals, retired following the 1974 season. Cepeda finished his career with 2,351 hits, 379 home runs, and a .297 lifetime batting average. Cepeda first appeared on the Hall of Fame ballot in 1980 and spent 15 years there before dropping off. However, in 1999, Orlando Cepeda was finally elected to the Hall of Fame by the Veterans Committee, and despite his old conflict with Alvin Dark, he went in as a San Francisco Giant. Despite injuries and racism, Orlando Cepeda put together one of the quietest Hall of Fame careers in history. He was one of the most feared bats of the 60s and won the World Series and MVP award in a year everybody thought he was finished. He was simply a great ball player and one of the best comeback stories in sports.